My friend found this metal object at an antique sale in Vermont, completely unlabeled, of course. It's thin, lightweight, and non-magnetic, with uniquely shaped projections on the left and right sides. He mentioned that it was in a basket with several other similar-looking pieces, which made him wonder if they were meant to be fastened together using the tabs. Given that it was only about $5, it doesn't seem to be anything valuable, but we're still curious to figure out what it's meant to be used for. Any ideas or examples of its purpose? Looks like it could be part of a latching system. The left part would somehow slide over and lock into place, and to release you would push down on the right side, like maybe on a small decorative box or a book. And it almost looks like the top of the right knob is knurled as if to be a little grippy for a finger to push on, but then from the back it doesn't look like it would move on a fixed point unless it was attached to a piece of wood that moved. We found this metal contraption in my granddad's house while sorting through his belongings after his passing on Boxing Day. It's hand-sized, weighs about 200 grams, and seems to be made of brass. We have no idea what it could be. Perhaps it's part of a desk clock? My granddad was a pilot, microbiologist, doctor, and musician, so it might relate to any of those areas. We also came across some aviation instruments, so that might offer a clue. It's quite a peculiar piece, and I'm hoping someone can help identify it. Does anyone know what it is? It's definitely not a telegraph machine, and it's definitely missing some parts. After talking to a friend, I think he's right. It's a camera shutter. The flat black paint on the shutter seems to indicate where a lens would mount. It could be part of an old lens shutter system, where pressing the button opens the circle. My wife found this while digging in our lawn, about a foot deep, Austin, Texas. It weighs around 10 pounds and appears to be made of cast iron. The bulge on top doesn't have a hole, and there doesn't seem to be any threading anywhere. It doesn't look like it would open like a clamshell or that it's two pieces stuck together. Just one solid piece. I'll be forwarding an image of it to some suggested experts in the area to get their opinions. I've also reached out to an anthropology professor at Texas State who is currently looking into it. I'll update here if he finds anything. Any ideas on what it might be? Mexico once extended far into Texas, so I'm thinking this might be some kind of Day of the Dead decoration. It could potentially be cast iron funeraria, perhaps an emblem from the gate of a family graveyard. Although Day of the Dead has only been an official holiday in recent years, it has been celebrated by the indigenous people of Mexico for centuries. Traditionally, sugar skulls, often life-sized, were decorated and placed on the headstones of ancestors. During the celebration, the skulls were broken into pieces and shared among family members. In modern celebrations, miniature sugar skulls are more commonly given to children. However, historically, these customs were mainly practiced by indigenous communities south of Mexico City. It's possible that this item was brought to Texas by a family that immigrated from those regions. I found a random object on the floor of the basketball gym. It has a cord at the bottom to plug into a wall and a lid on top that was taped down with Gorilla Tape. The object is about the size of my hand, with chains hanging from all four sides. It's made of heavy metal all around and doesn't have any text or markings anywhere on it. I've never seen anything like this before. Any ideas what it could be? It's a spinning motor for a disco ball, likely from the 1980s, used for school dances. I found this in an old summer house. It features a light bulb that automatically lights up when connected. There's also a transparent disc made of thin plastic that rotates continuously. On the horizontal side, there's a rotating gear mechanism that appears to be controlled by a thin rod. The disc spins at a speed similar to an old gramophone, but the thin rod seems loose and doesn't function properly. My best guess is that it might be some kind of projection device, but honestly, I'm clueless. Any ideas what it could be? Back in the 60s and early 70s, there weren't many options for trippy lighting effects at rock shows. Maybe this is a homemade device they used to project those psychedelic images on a screen? Some of them slowly rotated while they squirted colored vegetable oil on a transparent film. I found this collecting dust in an old house and can't figure out its purpose. It appears to be from the 60s or 70s and is made of plastic. Inside, there's a lamp and a motor that turns the little star-shaped plastic piece on top. It originally didn't have a plug, but I added one to test if it works. It seems to, as the lamp lights up and the motor spins. The object is 40 centimeters, 15.7 inches, in diameter and about 14 centimeters high. There's no writing on it, and I'm not sure what to search for online. Any ideas on what this could be? The white star-shaped object looks like an impeller designed for pumping liquid. The light bulb inside appears to be for illumination only, not heating, as the wiring doesn't seem like it could withstand much heat. The pump casing has an opening toward the center, so it's possible there was a cover that's now missing. I'm guessing this could project a psychedelic light show onto the ceiling when liquid is added. I found this above the office ceiling while doing some IT work today. It pinches tightly together when you pull the lever down and leaves a gap when the lever is up. There are no manufacturing marks, serial numbers, or any identifying information on it. It seems to be made of steel with a couple of rubber bungs at the top. I've asked everyone at work, but no one knows what it is, other than making jokes about clamps. Does anyone know what it is? It's a ceiling clamp used for drop ceilings. My friend works at a museum where I came across an object. It's made of metal, around 10 inches in diameter, with no moving parts except for the chain link. The back reads, No to Pay TD November 17th, 35 steel casting. It's displayed in the logging section of the museum, though it may not be related to logging at all. I'm assuming it's made of steel, given the steel casting label on the back. The PATD November 17th, 35 could be the patent date, but it doesn't necessarily indicate when it was cast. I tried searching the acronym PATD, but all I found were panic. At the disco results, which aren't helpful. Any ideas what this thing is? A friend found this tray at a thrift store. It features ornate inlay handles and brass knobs in 2 different sizes. There are no markings on the bottom, and all attempts to identify it through searches have come up empty. It appears to be either vintage or possibly homemade. Any idea what this could be? It's a bagel serving tray. The uprights hold the bagels and the small posts fit glass trays to stop them from sliding off. The trays hold condiments and spreads. I found this buried 6 feet deep in Redondo Beach, California. It's about 4 inches tall, weighs around 220 grams, and feels like it's made of lava rock. Could it be Native American? I plan to reach out to the historic Southwest Museum since they seem to have a large collection of Native American artifacts. I've already emailed them with pictures and I'm hoping they respond soon. In the meantime, does anyone have any ideas about what this might be?